Okay, this is PreCalculus. Test review for chapter 2, the backside. Okay. Problem 5, solve using the quadratic formula. Okay, you have to have the quadratic formula memorized. Alright? So, I've got P, let me write it down. No, you know what, it's in your notes. When you're studying, you have your notes. When you're doing your test, you won't. So, P equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8 all over 2 times 1, okay? And then you simplify it. So negative 7 is positive 7, plus or minus the square root of 7 squared is 49. Negative 4 times 8 is negative 32, all over 2. I'm going to go here. So P equals 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 subtract 32 is 17, all over 2. And that's as simplified as it can get. All right, problem 6. This is a quadratic inequality. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find the roots. Okay, let's see if this is factorable. This is easy AC. I'm going to look for factors of positive 18, whose sum is negative 9. How about 6 and 3? Negative 6 and negative 3. Multiply to positive 18 and add to negative 9. So my roots are at 6 and 3. I'm going to draw, here's my graph, 1, 2, 3, here's a root, 4, 5, 6, here's a root, okay. This is concave up because A is positive, okay, and now greater than, I'm going to hit pause and get a highlighter. All right, greater than is greater than 0, okay? What we just did is we graphed y equals x squared. Y equals x squared minus 9x plus 18. That's what this graph is, okay? So if I want to know when is this greater than 0, okay, I want to know when y is greater than 0, okay? So let's look at all of the y coordinates on this graph that are positive or greater than 0. So those are going to be the ones above the x-axis. So these y coordinates that I'm highlighting in yellow are all positive, or all greater than 0. So which x coordinates give you those y's? So at this graph, as it is going up, it is also going to the right. So that means that all of the x's that are to the right of that point all going to give you a y that's positive, and all of the x's that are to the left of this point are all going to give you a y that's positive. All right, so let's put that into interval notation. So here I've got from negative infinity to 3. That's my first interval, negative infinity to, negative infinity to 3, okay? Or, okay, then over here I've got from 6 to positive infinity. So that's my answer. Here I've got a compound inequality with x's all over the place. So break it up into 2. All right, I'm going to break it up into this yellow part. And then I'm going to break this up into the green part. And I'm going to solve both. Okay? So I've got 3x minus 18 is less than or equal to 4x plus 11. Okay? That's my yellow inequality. And then I've got 4x plus 11 is less than negative 4x minus 5. That's my green inequality. All right, so I'm going to solve them both. I'm going to first subtract 3x from both sides. Then I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. And over here, I'm going to add 4x to both sides. I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. I'm going to divide by 8. Okay, so here I have x is greater than negative 29 and less than negative 2. Let's take a look at that on a number line so we can put it together as one. Negative 29 is smaller than negative 2. Okay, x has to be bigger than or equal to. Okay, I'm going to shade this dot in. This dot is included. And everything and stuff to the right, because it's x is greater than. This is the same thing as saying x is greater than or equal to negative 29. Okay. And then I've got x is less than 2. Now, I've got no line underneath this inequality, so this one's open, and less than is to the left. So since these two inequalities point in towards each other, this is a between inequality. So my interval notation is going to be square bracket for negative 29, from negative 29 to negative 2, and since that's a that's open on the right, we give the round bracket on the right, or round parenthesis on the right. All right, number 8. An arrow shot into the air is 64t minus 16t squared feet above the ground, t seconds after it is released. Okay, so this here is the height of the arrow. All right. During what period of time is this above 48? Well, above is greater than. So I'm going to say, when is the height of the arrow? Here's the expression for the height of the arrow. Greater than 48. Okay? All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this quadratic into standard form first. Okay? So I'm going to manipulate it a little bit, all right? I am going to add 16t squared and subtract 64t so that I have it set equal to 0. So I've got positive 16t squared on the right of the equal sign. When I subtract 64t, that goes to the right. This is positive 48. And I'm doing this so that this is going to be the equation that I graph. You know what? I should keep my greater than here because this is going to be the equation that I'm going to graph. So in my end, I'm going to want to know, is it greater than or is it less than? It started out being greater than, but here my expression ends up being less than because it's this sign is indicating that 0 is greater, therefore the expression is less. Okay. This is all divisible by 16, so I'm going to divide everything through by 16. 0 divided by 16 is 0. Okay, and then I'm going to factor this. I'm going to look for factors of 3, whose sum is negative 4, negative 3, and negative 1. Okay. So I have 0 equals t minus 3 times t minus 1. So my roots are at positive 3 and positive 1. Okay, so let's graph that. Again, what I'm graphing is this inequality that I put in the box. So I've got open circles. Well, never mind. This is just the parabola I'm graphing. This is concave up the way I manipulated it. Okay, and so now I am looking for everything that is less than 0. Okay, so what are the x values that give you those y's are less than 0? Well, those are the ones between 1 and 3. Okay, so in interval notation, that would be between is this in t seconds? Okay, here's my unit of time. So we've got 1 second through 3 seconds. Okay? That's an interval notation with the units, 1 second through 3 seconds. All right, that's it.